Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Cherokee Creek. You'll wish he kept hiding.
Written, directed, edited, and starring Todd Jenkins, and co-starring Billy Blair, Justin Armstrong, Justin Duncan, and Olivia Sabini. This movie's about Pat. He's kidnapped for a bachelor party by his friends who happen to be in the film industry. They have an elaborate plan to have a fake Bigfoot come out and scare him. Well, they can't. Unfortunately, Cherokee Creek is known for having actual Bigfoot, and now they're treading on the Squatch territory. This is a Baller Club BBC recommendation from Pool Party Massacre director Drew Marvick. He has been a great supporter of us for a very long time. We loved his movie, and I can't wait for the sequel. When this was recommended, not only him, but other people started chiming in and saying, you need to be really drunk for this one. I tried so hard. Let's just talk about this. What do we like? When it comes to Bigfoot movies, you're always gonna wanna see your Squatch in like a suit. Like just a guy in a suit, no CG shit. And they absolutely delivered on that. He's a big, hilarious guy in a hairy suit with big hands.
I swear on my life, what the fuck?
Considering a lot of the film took place in the evening, I was really impressed with the production value. A lot of the shots were well lit, the audio was crisp, and I enjoyed the sound effects. You can actually like hear leaves and twigs just like snapping.
Which is probably just a Squatch walking in the woods. Well, I didn't love all the humor. There are some really funny moments. Definitely some over-the-top stuff, but it wasn't like the shit humor that I thought it was going to be. There is some, it's light on that. Just some of the like the conversations and dialogue that like people have, well, can be a little bit long-winded at times, but I did appreciate some of the humor.
And with that, there are characters you're gonna enjoy. At first, I didn't think I was gonna like Vinny Blade, but he grew on me. I actually enjoyed his character. When you first have that interaction with him at the campsite, it looks like he's being the biggest D-bag ever.
You walked away right as I was pushing the button, so it's just a picture of me. So do you mind if we take another one so I can get you in the picture?
$20 more. What?
But I think it was their over-the-top acting and a lot of their facial expressions that added to the humor.
Like any practical Sasquatch movie, we would hope for good practical kills. And we do get some. There's some nice gore effects. And when it comes to the titty bitches,
no booze, no titty bitches, nothing.
Of course, you're gonna have some titties. But if you're more into dicks, there's dicks too. Because it seemed like the director just wanted to show off that he can do some claps while he does push-ups, and he edged himself to show his dong off a little bit. You can see the lube glistening off of it. It's true though. Did you see how shiny his dick was?
You're ready. All right.
The light was right on it perfectly.
He definitely was working it. And I get it. If I was in a movie, it's like, yeah, I want to be as large as I'm gonna be.
That's why he did the push-ups. You gotta get that blood pumping.
Now, what didn't we like?
I think the biggest issue with this movie has to be how it is paced out. It starts off with 2 really awesome kills, and then we get an hour and 40 minutes of conversation.
So like I said, the humor is good if they were isolated situations. But in the case of a movie that's extended to include all of these, it's 2 hours long. We paused it at an hour and 10 minutes and nothing had happened. People were just at a camp talking still. That sounds like such like a shitty thing. Like, yeah, it's character development. It's all this stuff. It's different than that. These people were just talking about stuff that didn't matter. Some of it wasn't even supposed to be funny. It's just like them talking. If somebody needed to describe that they needed to go get a key for something, it would be a 2-minute scene. And it just keeps going and going and going and going and going. Every single conversation is like that. And when it gets to the hour and 40-minute mark, you're like, how are you still fucking talking? Where the hell is the Sasquatch?
There's nothing wrong with a conversation-based movie. The problem is there's nothing in between. You need to like separate the conversations with some kind of kill, with some kind of action scene, a fake out, anything.
I can definitely see where like maybe the director was influenced by like Kevin Smith and how he kind of does conversation pieces, because if you look at stuff like Mallrats, it's very similar. Like obviously this is giving him a little bit more credit than deserved, but the fact is Mallrats is kind of built on funny extended conversation of everyday shit, and it can drag on so long as the jokes are there. But then you would cut to something something like Jay and Silent Bob doing something, like dressing up like Batman and flying through somebody's like dressing room, like doing an action sequence, and then they get back to another fun dialogue scene. This didn't have those. Like, I can't stress that the word draining is the epitome of this movie.
And because of this, the kills that we got, even though they were practical, everything was just kind of rushed at the end of the movie. And it's not like you really saw a lot of the kills. Like, one of them was a bear hug. The other one was just like random claws just like slapping them aside. There wasn't anything you could clearly see to be like, man, that was awesome.
The effects work was there, and had there been a little bit more lighting, or even begrudgingly in post, like adjust the levels a little bit so you can see it a bit more, bump the saturation so we can see the blood pop, I think there could have been something that just enhanced it a little bit better. And can I just say, if you buy the Blu-ray for this, the most obnoxious shit starts the movie and ends the movie, which is the two kidnapper guys, which are the main actors, berating the audience, saying like,
So don't fucking pirate the movie?
So fuck you.
Oh, well, fuck your mothers, your sisters, your daughters.
but then they acknowledge that like the only people that would be watching it had already bought their movie because it would only ever be seen on the Blu-ray edition. So like, go talk to somebody fucking else. We were already like, this is terrible, and it definitely kind of set the pace.
They're no little Putin big steak. That's the problem.
Yeah, bitch, you got his motherfucking money. Don't make me bust that bitch ass.
They were definitely trying to put it on like some big money hustler shit. And if you haven't seen that, now there's an indie gem. I'd give that 2 whoops out of 5 at least.
Yeah, a lot of whoop whoop. A lot of it, man. Whoop whoop.
Like mentioned, this is a longer movie, and the fact that I can pinpoint 4 or 5 scenes that could have been straight up just deleted is exactly the reason why I don't think the writer and director and actor should also be the editor. Todd Jenkins obviously wrote his stuff, liked his stuff, and wanted to see all of it. When in many cases, an editor would be like, you know what, that is fun, but you know, it's really dragging out the pace. Like, an editor's job is to kind of remove that stuff. The term is called kill your darlings. Yeah, sure, you might put a lot of effort into doing something, but when you're trying to tell a story, sometimes you just gotta kill that darling and just delete it. We do it all the time. We shoot for like half an hour, but trim stuff down to like 10 minutes. But you have to do what you have to do to appease the audience. And that simply just didn't happen.
If you go into the special features, I don't think there is deleted scenes. And clearly, there could be a lot of deleted scenes in this movie.
Exactly. Like, they could have trimmed out all of that stuff, made this an hour and 20. You know, it would have pushed the Sasquatch stuff to maybe an hour in, and it would have been a more enjoyable film, and we wouldn't felt like it was just dragging on. Because by the time that the Sasquatch stuff does come, you don't care. You just want the movie to be over with at that point. And so this is an editing issue. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Cherokee Creek is one of those movies that I've known about for a long time. The director reached out and I declined. The humor is better than expected. It's not the shit humor that we went into thinking it was going to be, and it did have some fun moments. There wasn't enough just like Bigfoot in general, and the kills that we do see, they're done really quickly, even though the practical effects were there. The biggest issue is definitely the pacing. There's no action throughout the movie. It's just people talking at a campfire for an hour and 10 minutes before anything happens. And that's really frustrating because you don't care at that point. You're just like, okay, I know that we have 40 minutes left. It's like, holy shit, here we go. And with another pair of eyes in the editing room or a different editor altogether, it could have corrected a lot of things that we have issues with. I don't know, this movie isn't terrible, but it's certainly not something that I would recommend. So I'm gonna give this 1.5 anacondas out of 5.
Knock, knock.
Are you ready for my cock?
I have a lot of mixed feelings about this movie because I'm not against conversational movies, and the conversations weren't bad. It just needed to be spaced out more. Everything needed to be paced a little differently to make it more interesting. I wanted something in between there, like a kill, to make this film feel a little more fun because it's a Bigfoot movie. Despite the tagline, Bigfoot was hiding through most of this film. That's what sucks, is you're going into a Bigfoot movie wanting to see Bigfoot kill people. Instead, you get some entertaining conversations, but that's not what we're here for. And like Jay said with the editing, cutting something out and maybe giving us some fodder, it would be a bit more enjoyable. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 1 knuckle sandwich out of 5.
Oh, I can't deal with this right now, okay? I'll find him in the morning. I'll give him a sandwich. I'll give him a knuckle sandwich.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, Scream Team Releasing does have a really cool Blu-ray. Highly recommend those guys. And if you want to join the BBC, the Bloodbath Baller Club, and recommend a movie for us to review, check out the Patreon, link also in the description. There's tons of links down there, but I don't think anyone opens it that often, I'll be honest. But hey, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything Bloodbath and beyond.